everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here for week 5 of the budget build comp edition using the Element Sendero SE. I missed last week, sorry about that. Didn't have time to get one done and just didn't have time, so it didn't get done. So I'm gonna make this one quick. It is storming here right now, so it might sound a little funny. I'm gonna try and talk as loud as I can so the mic picks up, but week 5 this week's going to be simple. One easy thing to install. We're going to put a steering servo in it. Now this is going to be a little controversial for everybody because everybody's got their own favorite kind of servo. Right now my favorite servo is going to be the Powerhobby, the 729 NBL. It's metal gear servo, waterproof, all the power you can want. We run this at 7.4 volts. It's going to do 500 ounces at 7.4 volts. It's super fast at like 0.1 seconds turning 60 degrees, which is crazy fast. I sell these to a bunch of people that race 8-scale buggies, like off-road racing. They say on 7 volts, it's plenty fast for them. I've put this in a lot of trucks. It's bonkers at how crazy fast this thing is. I know everybody likes their own servo, and that's fine. You can follow that suit however you want to. You know, if you're a Reefs fan, that's fine. If you're whatever, all the other ones, Shifts and all them other brands, you know, whatever. So you can use whatever it is you want personally. Whatever your preference is. This is mine at the moment. I've got them in a lot of different trucks, and they're great servos. The only thing is it's a little more expensive. They've gone up a little bit. They're now $94 instead of like, they used to be like $85. Now, I will say, if you don't want to spend $100 on a servo, get the blue, the 600 633 MCW, I think is what it is. It's a metal gear, metal case, waterproof servo. It does like a little bit, like 400 and something ounces at like 7 volts, which is plenty for a trail truck or a crawler. Either way, a comp truck too as well. I sell a bunch of those also. That's probably my #1 seller as far as Powerhobby servos go. But that's just your cheaper option if you want to go that route. It's only like $65 instead of $100. So let's get this thing installed. It should be fairly simple. We just take the old one off and put this one on. It shouldn't change too much. We do have to power it on though to make sure we center the servo. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to reuse the servo horn that's on it because it is metal already. So why not? We ain't got to spend any money. Everything else should be just a simple swap. So just hang tight and we'll get it changed. All right, so if you remember on my last video that we did on this truck, I moved the servo wire to the top instead of the bottom like it was. And that was the reason being was because we were going to do this next. I knew what we were going to do, so I did that to go ahead and preemptively make this simpler. The first thing you need to do is take the 4 bolts out of the receiver box. Now that that's off, you go in, find which one it is, you pull it out of there. You got to watch the little gasket. That thing's about useless. Watch your antenna and pull it out of the #1 slot, and there you go there. And the way you'll take it apart is you'll find the servo horn here. It should be just a 2 mil. What we'll do is we will just undo this here. Keep this because you will reuse this. This will fit into the Powerhobby servo. Just move the horn, move it out of the way. All right, so it's just 4 bolts that hold it on. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So once that 4th screw is out, you just take the servo, pull it forward. The wire should come out. And there you go. So install is just the same. Basically take that. Always what you want to do is have this come out this way. You want to match it, putting it back in. Feed your wire behind here. Try and grab it with your finger and pull. And there you go. That's it. And all you got to do is just reinstall the 4 screws and call it done. I am going to tighten these by hand because I want to maneuver the servo around a little bit because it's you kind of gotta, it's not perfectly centered into this, but it's close. So now you go back to the receiver box to put everything in. Keep that tight there. Run it into the little O-ring here. Kind of got to do it. Kind of got to finesse it in there. Yeah, and I bent it. So figures. There we go. That'll work that way. So you can pull up on it and then add it and then push it down. So on Powerhobby servos, it's a gray wire, black. So the black all the way on the top is going to be your negative. Make sure you remember that when you go to install it into the receiver. Silver is going to be white. The middle will be your positive. Shove all the wires down in there the best you can. It's always the tough part because they never want to stay. Put your O-ring back on. Try and keep this thing as waterproof as possible. Box top. And reinstall your 4 screws. Alright, so next thing you do is plug your battery up. Turn your ESC on. Turn your radio on. So also when you do that, when you turn your radio on and turn the unit on, you can make sure that your servo is turning and make sure it's straight. So you line it up as best you can straight wise. And put the servo on, servo horn on, and it should just slide right on, no problem there. And reinstall your screw. Tighten as hard as you can, and there you go. And that should be it as far as install goes on that. You can see how fast this thing is. That's plenty fast. Turn off everything. Unhook battery. And that's it. That is a steering servo install on the Sendero SE. All right, so let's go over totals this week, week 5 of the budget build comp edition on the Sendero SE. This week was simple with just one part, a steering servo, using a Powerhobby 729 servo. It's black, nice case, aluminum case, the whole deal, waterproof, everything. It's a great servo. It is a little bit more expensive than it used to be, so it kind of puts it in that range of, do you really want to spend that much money? And I understand that. So, but I chose it because this is probably one of my favorite ones to use, especially in the comp setting. You saw how fast it is, how much, and it's got plenty of torque. It'll move anything you want to move. So that's why I did it. All right, so let's go over totals from last week to this week. Last week we had $24.24 left over from, doing the overdrive, which we didn't install yet, the fusion and the brass hexes. So this week we had $99.24 to start with. We spent $94.99. We have $4.25 left over for next week, which not too bad. We did pretty good there. It was a good way to stockpile the money from the past couple weeks for the big expensive items, which is the fusion and the servo. Two probably most expensive items that we'll put on this truck for now. So that's pretty much it. So we've got $4.25 to transfer over to next week. We're probably going to go in the negative next week. Maybe not. We'll be close, but maybe not. So next week will be interesting for your comp guys. I already have it in my plan. I know what I'm going to do. So be sure and watch next week as well. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, comment. Give me a comment, anything you want to do. It helps out tremendously, especially likes. Those help a whole bunch. Appreciate the love you've given me in the past couple of months. I've tried to make sure and do some sort of video here and there more than before. So we're going to try and keep this rolling, and If you don't know, UST is coming up February 18th, 19th, and 20th, or is it 17th, 18th, and 19th? Anyway, that weekend in February in Williston, Florida. You should be there. Everybody else is there. We'll be there. Full store will be set up. You'll be able to come buy stuff. You'll be able to come look at this truck and every other truck I've ever shown on the channel. So be sure to come by. I mean, if you don't drive anything at all, you can spectate for free. You just have to pay the grounds for the Cedar Lakes Garden Grounds. Their entry fee is like $17 or something like that. That's all you got to pay. If you want to drive, I'll link the website in the comments or in the description below, so you know where to go and get all your information you need. I highly suggest going to the show. There's 1,000 people that show up to this thing, and there's tons of trails, lots of things to do. There's buggy racing, monster truck racing, 24 scale course, semis, construction equipment, a micro drift course, not on just trail trucks. I mean, there's anything you can imagine. Sunday there's bashers as well, so everybody tries to break all their stuff. That's always cool to see. If not, you just come for the trails. That's even better. There's 9 trails this year, loaded with everything you can imagine to blow your mind when you go drive them. So be sure and come and check that out. February 17th, 18th, 19th, or 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere in that weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So just be sure and come and check it out, and we'll see you next week.